Hey everybody, it's Justin, your friendly neighborhood yoga hippie, and here with another chat. um, so yesterday I had some dental work done, right? So I get home and I'm foggy and listless. I don't really feel like doing anything. Um, so I'm guilty of scrolling sometimes, and I ended up popping across something that struck me. So I want to talk about grief and loss. And, I know that it's something that we all struggle with. You know, grief it can be painful, and it can be kind of a dark hole that you don't feel like you can climb out of. When you're hurting like that, it's hard to see anything else. So I would like to just say, first of all, you're not alone. Everyone, I think, carries some form of grief with them, and it's just to the degree with which they live inside of that grief that it plays a role in their life, right? So I think that the grieving is one of the biggest communities on earth, right? So it's a way for us to connect and lift each other up by recognizing and acknowledging our own grief. Working on that helps us understand others and what they're going through. I'm no stranger to this. I've loved and lost in many different ways, So me, as a man, I've had to grieve the loss of relationships. That's you're losing one of your best friends for better or for worse, right? But it's a form of grieving. The potential stepchildren, like I've had to grieve the loss of not being able to, spend time with those children that I got close to. As an addict, I had to grieve the loss of that best friend, that security blanket, that comfort zone, that, when you're in addiction, that's what that is. That's your comfort. That's what brings you, I wouldn't say happiness, because my experience with addiction did not include any amount of happiness. But it brings you that comfort that you're seeking in the moment. I lost my little brother. I had to grieve my little brother. Lost him to an accidental overdose in 2020. And it's one of the hardest things to deal with in my life so far. I'm dealing with, there's elements of guilt. And I just miss him, I think when we talk about grief, we need to understand that, especially when it comes to death, we're only losing the physical form. Right? Nothing can ever take those people away from us. Nothing can affect the memories I have of my little brother. And for a long time I didn't know how to deal with this. I covered it up with self-doubt and criticism, sort of masochistic tendencies, like codependence, needing someone else to validate me, and it just led to all these negative roads. until facing, what's inside and understanding that, yes, I'm never going to stop missing him. It's never going to, ease up or be less painful. But we have a choice in what we can do, right? From moment to moment. I talk about this a lot, so if you're one of my friends or, yoga students or anybody, I talk about this all the time. We only have right now. The past is gone. The future doesn't exist. We're right here. So we have a choice, right? Are we going to promote joy or are we going to promote suffering? Now that applies to us too. Are we going to promote joyfulness inside of ourselves or are we going to continue to promote suffering? Because yes, although the pain of loss and grief is palpable, it's tangible at times, it hurts. What are we going to do with that? Are we going to let that hurt grow and spread within us, manifesting in negativity and fatigue and disingenuousness? Or do we turn that into something positive? A force for good. Be fiercely joyful, right? The pain of losing my little brother has eventually pushed me into deeper spirituality. It's pushed me into a yoga hippie, right? If I didn't know the pain of that loss and all of these other traumas that I've collected through my life, I wouldn't know how to be joyful. I wouldn't know how to appreciate how good things are in this moment. I wouldn't have the desire to help people so much if I didn't know how badly I needed help in those moments. That's what I'm here for. It's because I know, man, I've been there. I've been homeless. I've been strung out. I've broken into the back of abandoned tractor trailers so that I had a dry place to sleep. Been in solitary confinement for 3 months. This isn't about bad things that have happened to me. This is about how we process those bad things and turn them into something that we can use for fuel, right? Fuel for the good. Fuel for us to choose joy today. So the way that looks for me is that I maintain a connection with my brother, right? Every day. I feel like anything good that I can do for, myself or my family or for others, I try to credit that to him, right? And the most special part about this is, and it almost always happens at these music events, shows and concerts and things. And, one of the most vivid and joyful memories I have of Jordan was we were at this campground on like a family vacation one time. And one of the nights there was like a DJ playing in this big open area for people to dance and hang out in. And man, that whole trip, we were dancing and grooving that night. And I remember him dancing by the pool the next day, just getting it. And, part of this revelation for myself was, realizing that, reconnecting with, the joy I have for music and the meditative act of dancing for me. Going out to these shows and just grooving. It's nothing but me and the music, the sound and the silence and nothing else for a little bit. And that's the way meditation looks for me sometimes. But in these, a lot of times at these shows and these concerts, people just people approach me. I'm just grooving, but they approach me with. They'll come out of nowhere, man. Um, hey, man, do you have any drugs? Oh no, sorry, man. I gave that up a while back, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. I love you through it anyways. What's up? And then it's like, oh well, I can't stop. I don't know what to do about this, and et cetera, et cetera. Man, let me tell you what worked for me. I see these little opportunities as times to just pass on what I've got. And all I've got really is some experience. I've got some experience and some time behind it where positive growth was made. It can be anything from that to, somebody approaches me and, hey, I'm dating this, I just broke up with this guy who did this, this, and this, and just people find their way to me in their darkness and in their pain, in their suffering. And I don't know why, I guess I do try to consciously, just be myself, be fearlessly honest by just being. And it just seems to bring people who need that light, need that story, that ability to relate to someone, or for someone to relate to you. Right? Because, part of grief is, feeling like you're alone. Nobody feels this way, the way you do. Well, man, I'm here to say, I've been there. I know you're hurt. And even if I don't know your specific condition or, your situation, I know what it is to hurt. I've hurt a lot. I miss my brother so much every day. But instead of letting that tear me apart, I can choose joy today. I can tell people what it's like, that it gets better. You can keep that memory with you forever and ever. Nobody gets to take that from you. And what you choose to do with it, that's on you, bro. But today, I choose joy. I choose to dedicate myself to joy. For me, for you, for Jordan. Grief is difficult. It comes and goes. It's in waves. But just like, as our old friend Watts say, just any wave has a crest and a trough. You wouldn't know the wave otherwise. Grief and pain and loss, they come in waves. We have to understand that experiencing these darker sides of life are necessary. They're necessary for us to not only see but appreciate the lighter side of life. And people who grieve and suffer to such a great degree, I want you to know it's the only reason that you can even suffer to that deep of a level is because you also have the capability to love to that deep of a level. Find what it takes to choose joy today. Thank you so much for watching. And if nobody told you they loved you today,